Starts like this. I was up in the Van Allen belt. This is factual. And I don't know why they're scared of the Van Allen belt, because it's simply hot. You'd be surprised how warm space is down amongst the clouds and so forth. It can get pretty cold and damp. But you get well up and sunlight shining around that sort of thing. It's quite hot. And the Van Allen belt was radioactively hot. A lot of photons were trapped in that area and so forth. And I was up there watching the sunrise. Well, that was very interesting, and my perception was very good, and I was taking a look at Norway, and yes, the place is round, and getting myself sort of oriented. And then something happened to me that I didn't know quite what had happened to me. I thought some facsimiles must have appeared in front of me, but they didn't look like facsimiles. And some other things happened, and I had a feeling like I might possibly go into the sun, and a few other little uncomfortablenesses there were, that wasn't what awed me. But I got confused. Because the sun was suddenly larger. And then it was smaller. And somehow or another, I was doing a change of space process that I myself was not familiar with. This is factual. By the way, another manifestation is prequelers will shift identities and borrow facsimiles like mad. There's what they call the Christ game. And that game has been played and played and played and played. Honest to Pete, these cards are just so thin. They've been laid down amongst the coffee cups and so forth of the whole universe. You'll find out thousands of years before the year 1 AD Earth, you will have facsimiles and dolls made up like Christ. Fact 1, 1,000,000 years ago, is occasionally rigged with Christ and the devil and an angel. It's a fascinating thing. It's an old game. Here on Earth there was undoubtedly Christ. One of the reasons he swept in so suddenly and he would go forward so hard is he had a good assist back of him in terms of an impact. This is factual. Planet, there's a great deal of dumping has gone on. Stuff from the nearby galaxy. Not this galaxy, but the next galaxy over, and so forth, has gone on here. I know they take political prisoners and guys who they don't want around, but it's less personal than you think. They just have excess population, so they start to get rid of their excess population. You see, they've got a revolt, or you're on the wrong side of a war or something like that, and they pick you up in droves and ice cube you and throw you into a sea someplace. I know this planet has been subjected to that, and several planets in this immediate end of this galaxy have been subjected to that. That I know. This is factual.
They were imported. They were actually, the trick was to shoot somebody, disable somebody, very often a needle into a lung, and at the same time to hit him with frozen alcohol and glycol, which preparation is guaranteed to pick up a bacon. All they had to do was pick him up, put him in a refrigerator, and they had him, boy, because he tried to exteriorize from the body. There he was, frozen. And they threw him into collection points, boxed them up in boxes, threw them into space planes, which are the exact copy of DC-8. The DC-8 airplane is the exact copy of the space plane of that day. And no difference, except the DC-8 had fans. Propellers.
This is factual.
Now you look at this. now. The complete idiocy of it. Somebody sits up on Venus. There are probably some other stations around up in the system. This one's on Venus. I notice that we all believe that Venus has a methane atmosphere and is unlivable. I almost got run down by a freight locomotive the other day. Didn't look very uncivilized to me. I'm allergic to freight locomotives. They always running into them.
Because Earth is a heavy gravity planet. And who the hell wants a heavy gravity planet? Earth would be much better off lying in chunks in an orbit. around the sun. But naturally, that's pretty rough a sign, blowing up something this size and putting it around, so nobody will do that. But completely aside from that fact, Earth has been used consistently as a prison. And it is a prison. And it is heavily screened. There are installations in Mongolia. There are installations in the Pyrenees here on Earth. There are installations down the mountains of the moon in Africa, which pick up, very often, people on death.
This is factual. Factually.
Have you ever noticed how a Negro in particular, down south, where they're pretty close to the soil, personifies mess? The gatepost and the wagon and the whip and anything around there, a hat. Hey, they talk to him, you know. What's the matter with you, hat? They imbued him with personality.
This is factual. Factual.
Now, the mixed universe is all very well, but it's all illusion. One doesn't want an illusion, so he can't have an illusion. And when he was very young, why, Christ was all right. He's very friendly, as a matter of fact, and so on. But that's mostly people, you know, they have to believe in that sort of thing. And they did once, but it requires nothing but faith. And, of course, they can't have any faith anymore. And they did have hopes on that once in a while, but actually religion doesn't lead anybody anyplace in the final analysis, because you never get your wish anyway. So, of course, one can't survive on the basis of spirits and religion and so forth, so that leaves just, of course, God. And, of course, God naturally exists because there is all this space around here, and this space is obviously surviving. So, of course, it's obviously surviving. Of course, space itself is liable to collapse, but the prime mover on mood is not liable to collapse because he created all this, and maybe he can't either, and nobody yet has come up with as flat a can't survive as God will never again be able to create another messed universe. But if we mentioned it, brother, it'd be out in the streets.
This is factual. Factual.
This is factual.